What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. 3,000 subscribers. That's pretty wild considering the niche of the content and the little pocket that I've found myself in. I think it's pretty wild that we've made it to 3,000. So yeah, thanks for everyone for that. That's pretty sick. So I'm pretty stoked, pretty over the moon. So pretty excited for how well the channel might do in the next couple of years, I suppose. It seems like not very long ago I was doing the 1,000 subscriber special, of which I did tell you guys that I would do a Q&A as well as that video, which I never did. So I suppose this is my making up for that. So here is a little bit of a Q&A of I did ask on YouTube as well as Instagram what you guys would like to ask, and told you I would answer it. So again, sorry again for being in the house with a lack of visual stimulus, but once again pretty busy these days. Somehow, even though I'm not really working, somehow I'm really busy. So here we go. So I'll start off on the Instagram post that I posted asking for questions to answer. Sorry also if I do get any of your names or pronounce them wrong. Yeah, obviously, you know, it's hard with some of them. Also, I'm a bit slow, so apologies. Well, firstly, I'd just like to thank you everyone who congratulated me on the milestone. And just a massive thank you to everyone who is watching and supporting the channel. It does mean a lot. That's awesome. So big thank you to all you guys. So first one off the bat, we've got Team Cat Style. How long have you been drifting for? Not a super long time. In fact, literally every single one of my track days except for one has been documented. It's on my YouTube. I have literally a playlist that is my drifting progress where you can watch from the very first track day that I went to, which was, I think, Spring Matsuri 2017 or 16. Can't remember. But yeah, literally there's only one track day that I've missed that I didn't document, and that was just one Friday night drift I went to in between Matsuri and short track. So apart from that, literally every single track day I've documented and filmed it, and you can watch it on my YouTube, so you can literally track the progression. In short, I'd say street drifting, the first time I've ever really started playing up on the street, which I do not condone and I do not do anymore. Would have been like 2015, 14 I maybe started, and then yeah, 2017 I think is when I really started to actually go to the track, started doing that. And then yeah, as you guys have seen since I finished the 31, before that I had an 18-month break where I didn't really do any drifting at all. So that's how long I've been drifting for, in short. Oliver JZX83 has asked, what do you do for a living, and could you give us a breakdown on the cars you've owned, at least some of them? So as far as the breakdown on the cars I've owned, I did do that for my 1,000 subscriber video, which you can go back and see. What I do for a living at the moment, I'm pretty qualified in a fair few fields, pretty specialized fields. At the moment, I am a refractories install tech, which is like refractory is the like the heat treated coating on the inside of industrial furnaces and boilers and stuff. So I do a lot of shutdown work. I do a lot of relining industrial furnaces, boilers, that sort of thing. So that's in short what I do for a living at the moment. Pretty quiet with work at the moment, but yeah, hoping to pick that up. As well as that, also when I can and when I have work and time off other work to do the work, I like to build engines and do things with Onsong Performance when we have the customer base to do it. Would definitely like to take that full time in the next couple of years, but where Rex and I are not looking to go into debt to do anything. So we're sort of just building it very slowly, accumulating the resources we need to build that business slowly as we can afford them to buy them outright, so that when we go into business, it's pretty cruisy. We want to be able to just do what we like to do and run along and enjoy that business. So that's what we're working towards, but at the moment, we can't go into that full time because there's not enough customer base. The Granny Spec, would you be keen to meet up? I'm based in Ipswich. Would be cool to meet and talk cars. Yeah, for sure. I'm a pretty busy guy, but like, if you see me at Matsuri or any car events, feel free to come have a chat. I'm a pretty awkward person in real life, like super awkward, but I'm happy to have a chat. Anyone that's sort of met me knows that I'm pretty awkward, but I do have a lot of time for anyone that wants to have a chat. So we've got Pork Chop Papi. Question, do you think you'll ever take this or any other 31 chassis to the next level, or do you think the platform is best suited for entry level and seat time driving? So this is a bit of a hard one. As someone who's always had it in their head that to be really competitive, you really need to have an IRS chassis. I believe that is just because of the setup of the car. I think it's just necessary for real competitive driving. Although, take that with a grain of salt, because that is literally coming from someone who has no experience competitively driving. So that's just what I've got in my head. I do plan on trying to compete a little bit with the 31 next year in a lot of just grassroots events. I would really like to start competing in that car. A little bit of work I have to do to get it to that point, but as far as actually taking the chassis to the next level It's one of those things where, don't quote me again because I haven't looked too closely at it, but I'm pretty sure for things like high-tech drift and that, I'm pretty sure the rules state you can't change the suspension layout of the car. I'm pretty sure the floor pan between the suspension, the front and rear suspension pickup points has to maintain its, I suppose its factory, whatever it is. So with the R31, especially the Ozdelve, you could go through the trouble of putting IRS into it and then potentially doing it, but I'm not sure that it would still comply with the regulations of a lot of Australian drift, for one, and for two, it's one of those things where it's like, how much trouble do you go through for a chassis to make it like that when you could just start with a better chassis to begin with, like an S chassis or something else. So for me personally, I don't think I'd ever really go through the trouble of getting the 31 to the next level. I think they are a really, really good car for seat time and entry level. And I think it will do fine as far as grassroots level competition goes. But for some reason, don't ask me why, I feel like it's just having the adjustment and extra ways to set up a car. I feel like IRS is always going to be a better option. So that's my answer for that question. Follow-up question from Porkchop Papi. Do you plan on travelling to the Vic scene in the not too distant future for Dank Tandies with Tutor 1, which is Ben Churchill from down south? So me and Ben have actually talked about this quite a bit. We both are very keen to do, respectively, I'd like to go down to Victoria and do a bit of a drift holiday down there and drive a heap of tracks, and he really wants to come up here and drive some tracks up here. So we're hoping to maybe sort that out for next year. We just have to see how we go. Obviously, my 31, I need to cage it in order to compete next year and to drive Victoria and stuff next year. So I've got a bit of work to do on my car before I can go down there. But definitely has been talked about, definitely is on the radar. It is something I would really like to do. I'd really like to get to a Keep It Reed event. They look awesome. They look like they're box fun. I really like what Vic Drift and Keep It Reed are doing down there. So super keen to cruise down for a drive one day. Next question. Nathan Schmidt says, what's your opinion on streeting and drag build on the Daily Wags? Question. So yeah, Daily Wags, I don't know. I just, that car has been serving me so well, I can't bring myself to really change it. At this stage, it's gonna stay, but I feel like if I ever do upgrade to a new tow car, I probably will turbo it and send it off that way, just because it's not really worth anything to sell. So I feel like it'd be more fun just to turbo it and see what it can handle. So maybe one day. And my opinion on streeting, really good idea. Just for me, because of how much I have to travel to go places, it's really unethical, I suppose, for me to have a street car. I don't really have anywhere to keep a street car, for one, and the amount of Ks I do is just like stupid to have a street car that's uncomfortable. Usually a street car, it's, low, stiff. Even my 31, I couldn't even imagine driving my 31 between this place and my workshop, because that's like an hour and a half drive. And it would just be an absolute prick of a drive in that thing because it's so stiff. So do love street cars. Eventually I'll get back into street cars. Do have a lot of plans to build more street cars. Just that at the moment it doesn't really fit, and it's not really worth the money for rego and the pain in the ass for roadworthies and that sort of thing. So definitely keen to do more street stuff in future, but it's just going to be a matter of when the opportunity sort of presents itself and I'm in a better position to do so. Connor01, what different motors do you plan on putting in the 31 later down the track? None, literally none. It was gifted to Australia with God's motor. I don't know why you would want to change it. So yeah, can honestly say I have no plans to do any engine swaps on an R31. I'm a very big fan of the RB30. It's a really, really good motor. I genuinely really, really like it. So I've got no plans to engine swap the 31 anytime in the near future at all. So. All right, so on to the questions on the YouTube post that I posted from a few people. So we've got Cody Davis, arse or tits? I'd have to go with tits, to be honest, just personally. We've got Jasper Bryant, two-part question, RB30 or 26, and what's it like to be so devilishly handsome? I'm like the most awkward person you'd ever meet in your life, so wouldn't really know because I'm too awkward. As far as RB30 and 26, I literally can't go past my single cam RBs. I love the RB30. I don't know, just got a big soft spot for it. Never really had a lot to do with the 26, but I have a lot to do with the 25, and I'd like to say RB30. There's just so much I love about it. The fact that it's so simple, the fact that pretty much it is our motor in Australia, like it's our little best kept secret. Nowhere else really got them except for South Africa, so, and even them, they didn't get them the way we got them. So I just love that it's pretty much the motor that was developed for Australia, the Australian market. I love how much it is ours, and I love how much potential it's got. I really like it. So yeah, love me RB30. Skyline and things. What made you fall into the R31 drug? This is an interesting story. This is probably, honestly, I'll elaborate on this more when I do a bit of a history lesson on the R31, where it came from and stuff, which I've been telling you guys I've been going to do for a while. But I was actually looking for an R32 four-door when I stumbled upon my R31 the first time. And for the money I was looking to spend, the R31 that I bought, which was mine, which already had the Microtech, it was already turboed, it was already fairly well set up. I just couldn't go past it for the money. So I was actually looking for a 32 four-door. My 31 popped up, too cheap to pass up, so I ended up buying that, and that's how I ended up with the 31 and got into 31s. So Aiden Goldsmith, what do you do for work? Sort of answered that. Yeah, refractory installs, but I've done a lot of stuff for work. I used to be a communications rigger, so I used to build towers, mobile phone towers and stuff. That's where I sort of got into the workforce. Hydra, what got you into cars? Probably just honestly my old man. My old man's always been a car nut. That's what he used to do when we were real young kids. He got us into racing dirt bikes when we were young. So we were always around motorbikes, cars for our whole life. So just progressed, I suppose, from dad introducing us into us getting older and keeping up with technology, and just steadily evolving into what we do and know now, which is a fair bit, I suppose. So Jake Watson, does the Blue Ute still run? Yes, Raucous does still run. It made an appearance in episode 16 or 17 of the R31 build, I think. Bit of just a sneaky appearance. Rex had to move it out of the shed while I was doing stuff, so I went down and filmed that. But yeah, that Ute does still run. It's currently got a blown 427 big block Chev in it. We have plans for that thing. We're hoping to get to that later this year, but we're just going to wait and see what happens with Rex's work and stuff. So. And Jake Watson also asked, what's the dream build? I really wouldn't be able to put my finger on one. I have way too many ideas for wicked builds that I really want to do. So sorry, I can't really pinpoint one of those. But I'm Mitch said, if you had more money, more time, what would you do differently about the 31? And would you do anything differently? There is quite a few things I'd like to do differently about the 31. It's one of those things where it's like, how long's a piece of string? I could literally sit here and spend $20,000 on that car in my head. So we'd love to do a better motor and box combo. We'd love to go 25 box with a better clutch. I would love to go forged motor with a cam and bit of headwork, new ECU, new hot and cold side. Like, I'd literally do that whole combo again. I would like to put a TI, like a brown TI interior in it. I would like to put a TI front on it. So yeah, there's plenty. I would like to put some better coilovers in it. Anyone wants to donate some better coilovers from my Chinese ones, I would love to. But you know, it is what it is. It's got me back to the track for a pretty low price, so it's served its purpose. So I'm pretty happy with it. But yeah, there's definitely a lot I would like to redo on that car if I could, and definitely a lot of things I would have done differently if I had the extra time and money. So Zerium Kobayashi. Sorry again with the pronunciation. I'm sorry. What's your personal choice of tire size to go drifting? I don't know, I haven't really got enough drifting experience to be able to answer that correctly. At the moment, I'm running a 195 45 or a 195 50, I think. Literally just because that's what size the R31 Ti wheels were, so I'm pretty limited to the tyre options I've got because of the wheels I'm running. So they're working for me pretty well. Again, I don't have the car very gripped up at the moment because it's got the weaker gearbox in it, so I keep the car pretty skatey. That's why, actually sorry, I'm going to split this video in, so I can't actually give you as many spoilers, but you'll see as my driving progresses that the car is not super gripped up, just because I'm trying to prolong the life of all the driveline parts that are not that great. That's one reason I've gone with the skinny tyres and left the skinny wheels on it, is just because at this stage with the driveline components, I can't afford to have it gripped up because I will break stuff, and I just want to get a lot more seat time in the car with it very skatey. There's a lot I have to learn before I can start really gripping it up, but I'm hoping towards the end of this year I can 25 box convert the car and really start going to a bigger wheel, bigger tyre, and start gripping the car up and getting it a lot faster. Sean Freeman said, how much did it cost to get the 31 to the stage it is now? Well, I've recorded an entire video on that, which will be coming out next week. So keep build for that. I've done a complete breakdown of the cost of the car and how much it cost me. So yeah, that is coming because I've actually had that question quite a bit. And the last question is Jeff Puppy Watson. Money no object, 5 cars in your collection that you can never sell. That's a pretty tough question. Number one would have to be a Di Tommaso Pantera. Love those things. They're absolutely incredible. Would own one of them in a heartbeat. Second would probably be like an original GT40. I've always loved, there's two mid Ford engined cars in a row. But always loved the GT40 as well. The only issue is that I'm pretty sure for both them cars, I am way too tall to fit in either of them, which is a real shame because that means I know I'll probably never actually be able to own one and drive one. But those are definitely two big ones on the dream list. I would love like a Dodge Ram 3500 Cummins, just for like massive tow rig. I love the Cummins diesels. I reckon they're sick. So yeah, I would love to have a Dodge Ram 3500 just for a tow car. Apart from that, I don't know what I'd pick for the other two. Honestly, there's so many cars. I'd probably have to throw in a 69 Mach 1. Always loved them because Dad had one back when we were like, before we were even born. Dad had a 69 Mach 1, which was just tough as. So I think ever since, me and Rex have had a weird, I suppose real love for those older Mustangs, specifically the 69 Mach 1's a really nice shape. So I have to chuck that on there. So what, I've got one left. I don't know. Probably like a Beams KE70 or something. Just something done the daily. I don't know. To be honest, there's so many cars. I just love cars. I love engines. I love all sorts. There's so many different combos in my head of stuff I want to have and build. I just know that I'll never be able to do them all in my lifetime, and it's a common stress that I live with every day. Stresses me out. Alright guys, so that was the 3,000 subs Q&A. Again, can't thank you enough for hitting this milestone. It is, I'm so happy, and yeah, I can't wait for more. I can't wait for you guys to see. Even like I'm recording this video and just slotting it in, but so I'm trying not to like have any spoilers. But yeah, I'm excited for you guys all to see the driving contents that's coming. Just what we got planned. I think it's good. It's good. It's growing quick and it's all lining up, and I'm really happy with it all. So I'm gonna keep on keeping on. At the moment, you'll see as videos progress where I am now. I'm pretty sure the video you're going to watch tomorrow is another fill-in video, which I just chucked in because it didn't have any real content, but I'm pretty sure that was filmed on the 25th or 26th of last month. So you'll see as the content progresses, but at the moment I'm just taking a bit of downtime to try and get some stuff together and organized to get the car sorted and get myself sorted for Matsuri. So just working on getting there at the moment. So yeah. Stoked. I'm so excited to drive Matsuri. It's going to be wicked. So working really hard to make sure the car's sorted, everything's sorted when I go there. And I can't wait to see a lot of you there. So thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. And yeah, subscribe and keep peeled. Thanks guys.